Hi everybody, it's Donna and you're watching Doodlebug Stitcher here on Flosstube. Hi everybody, how are ya? So it's been almost 2 weeks, I think, since my last video, and I just wanted to catch you guys up. I've had a lot of stuff going on health-wise. You guys kind of know about it if you follow me on other social media, Instagram and Facebook. But I've been dealing with that. I've started physical therapy, and so I've been doing that. Last week and earlier this week I had follow-ups with my oncologist, and I have to unfortunately go in for surgery tomorrow. It's urgent, but it's something that has to be dealt with right away, because there's a post complication that has happened, and so I have to have the surgery tomorrow morning. So that makes it a little difficult to do things, because I can't really do any of my physical therapy while I'm recovering from that because of the incision and all of that. So I'll get to stitch next week, so that'll be fun. And then in addition to that, we've got a busy week coming up, because Sunday my husband leaves for a business trip, and so he'll be gone for a week, so we have to go to the airport at some ungodly hour on Sunday morning. And then McKenna and I will get to hang out on Sunday, and then on Monday of next week McKenna starts day camp for the week. So so I'm gonna hopefully try to get some things done and maybe run some errands. I'm gonna try to hit up Joann's and Hobby Lobby to take a look around, and I'm going to try, and that's the key word, is try, it depends on how I'm feeling, to go to one of the, not local, but within an hour or so's distance from me, to an LNS. I haven't decided if I'm going to go to Maryland or to Pennsylvania. I have a couple of shops in Pennsylvania I've been wanting to go and check out, and then I've been wanting to go down to Baltimore to go to the Stitching Post. So it all depends on what I'm able to do. So as far as stitching, I know that you guys have been, if you guys have been following me, you know I'm still working on it. I don't know when it'll get finished, but I'm still working on it. So that's Harvest Keeper from Plum Street, which I absolutely love. And not only did I finish all of the B-skeps, you can see them there, but I've started working on the branch for the Good Witch. We call her the Good Witch. So I haven't worked on this probably in about a week, only because I've been working on another project, and I alluded to it before. I am participating as part of the YouTube channel Country Stitchers, their round robin project, which we just earlier this month got our partners. We're in groups of 4, so I think there's 14 groups of 4 stitchers. We had the option of picking either Quaker or primitive, and then within that we could stitch it either portrait or landscape. And then the ladies at Country Stitchers created 2 border design divider motifs, say that 3 times fast, for us to stitch on. And then they basically allowed us to pick our fabric, pick our colors, and then kind of make it our own. So I chose a pattern. It was a freebie pattern that I found online, and then I modified it slightly so that I could incorporate something that I love, which are B-skeps. So I haven't started stitching it yet. I just got finished all my divider borders. So I'll show that to you now, and then I'm getting ready to get started. I've been trying to get this thing started forever. And then that is my border. And then what I did is instead of stitching it all in solid colors, I picked out a Thread Gatherers watercolor silk that had the color, all of the colors. And this silk color, and I'll get up close there so you can see it, that silk color is called Autumn Honey, I believe it is. And so that's all the colors. And I wanted something that was fall. It was kind of going to be a companion piece to, you know, Harvest Keeper. I'm really into stitching fall stuff right now in the middle of summer. So, so that's what I'm doing now, and I'm hoping that I'll get to work on that. I might try to work on it tomorrow after surgery. Depends on how I'm feeling. But hopefully this weekend, and then next week I'll be, my goal is to try to have that done, my motif done, and the project ready to mail to the next person in the round robin by the beginning of August. That's my goal. So we'll see what happens. And then the other project I'm preparing for is the Flosstube collab. And I forget the channel. It's on Facebook. It's the 'Tis the Season by Blackbird Designs. The Flosstube 'Tis the Season stitch along. So that is from the Home for the Holidays book. This book is very hard to find. If you see one that's available and you want to do this, grab it up, because it's really, really difficult to find. I don't know why I can't be centered in this picture. So anyway, the chart is in this book, and I don't want to show you the chart, but I can show you the picture of the design. So this is the design there, the 'Tis the Season, and it's a cardinal. And the thing that I love about this is it allows you, and I'll show you what the full picture, that's the full picture. So the wording that's here at the bottom, you are able, it's charted so that you can stitch it both in English and in French. I haven't decided what I'm doing yet, because my cardinals, while my cardinals come out just after Thanksgiving, I usually don't put my cardinals away until like March. And that's only because we, the area that I live in, we get a lot of cardinals, and to me they're winter birds. They're also my daughter's school mascot, cardinals, so I like to keep them out longer than just Christmas. So I'm thinking I might, instead of stitching the English, which is 'Tis the Season to be jolly, I think I might stitch it in the French. What I'd love is if I could figure out how to convert the wording into German or Italian, because that's our family heritage. Jeff's father is of German descent, and Jeff's mother is of Italian descent. So I thought that that would be kind of an interesting thing. I just don't know how to do it. I'm design challenged. I think in my mind that I'm creative, but when it comes down to it, I like crack under the pressure and I can't do it. So I haven't decided yet what I'm going to be doing for that. So anyway, and then there's a couple of other stitch alongs. I'm waiting for some other confirmation on other projects. There's one that crafting between stitches I thought was planning. She didn't mention it in her last video, so I have a message out to her to confirm whether or not we're doing it. I have the chart that I'm going to be showing you here, and so hopefully I can confirm that the next video, which I'm hoping will be next week. These bracelets are killing me. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about is something that Kelly from ThatsSoKellyCo on Etsy sent me. I had contacted her, and you know, if you follow her, you know, if you're on Instagram or you're a watcher of Flosstube, you've probably seen her videos with Mama Joan, and she at one point in her Etsy shop had these laminated cards that you could put in your project, on your project bag, that you could identify your projects. And she, because she's been concentrating so much on I forget what she calls them, the little books that are like the floss keepers, that thing. I can't remember. Again, my brain doesn't want to work today. And you probably hear footsteps, which is my daughter. She was instructed to go to her room while mommy is filming. So let me see here. So anyway, I had contacted her, Kelly, to discuss with her about these thread tags and a thread keeper, because I like to use the bags. They're great for storing my floss, but when I pull it for a project, it's very cumbersome to have to open up the bags every time I need a color. So I wanted a thread keeper and the coordinating tags. And so I'm trying to go to her shop, and my phone doesn't want to work. Here we go. Okay, so here we go. So anyway, so Kelly, I had ordered, you know, she made a listing for me and everything, and so she's been concentrating on her Blitzy bags, which are those fabric bags to keep your floss and everything in order. And I wanted these, so she created a custom listing for me, and she was getting ready to send them, and she messaged me, and she was like, I'd really love, I'm revamping these, and so instead of you buying them from me, I'd love to send them to you and have you check them out. So she sent me them. She sent me the 2 bag tags, and again, my love for bees and bee skeps. I asked her for the bee theme, and then she sent me this. And so she asked me to review them, which I'm going to be using them this week. And so when I film again next week, I am going to have a review on these. I really like them. They're very sturdy. I've seen these made with like cardstock, and after time the edges fray and the paper becomes less stiff, and so it becomes flimsy. And these are really nice. They're laminated, and you're able to write on these with a Sharpie or a wet erase marker. And then they come off with your writing. You can, you know, take it off with alcohol or a baby wipe I've even used. So I'm really excited to try these out, try this new format out. And the difference is the old tags, I believe, and Kelly can correct me if I'm wrong, I believe that the difference is that the old tags had a design on both sides, whereas this one, the design is blank on the side, which I actually think that I'm going to prefer, because then I can write notes. Like if there's like a certain like blend of flosses that I need to do, I can write myself a note or keep track of like where I'm at stitch wise, or count wise on the chart, which I think is going to be great. And then the floss keeper is blank on that side as well. So if you didn't want to write the colors on here, you could write them here, or you could write half of them on one side and half of them on the other. So I really like the changes that she's made, and I'm saying that just from a design and a functionality for me. I'm liking this, so I'm excited to let you know how these work for me. And she wanted me to let you know that she's planning to have these back in the shop sometime in August. So go to ThatsSoKellyCo on Etsy, and I'll link it below. And then just keep an eye out for when she loads those. And she's putting new Blitzy Bobs, the Blitzy Bob bags, up all the time. So there's many different patterns and everything like that. So go and check her out if you don't already know about her. So thank you, Kelly, for that. I really appreciate it. That's the first time that any shop has asked me to review something, so I felt kind of honored. So thank you, Kelly. Some of the other stuff that I've gotten in the last couple of weeks, I've gotten a lot of project fabric from various shops because I needed, I've been searching for fabrics for specific projects, and so I wanted like a certain color and had a hard time finding it, and I Google and check shops from all over. So I found several new shops that I didn't know about. All of them have had great customer service, fast shipping, items arrived very, very nicely packaged. So the first one that I am showing you is from Mo's Needle and Thread, which is mosneedleandthread.com, and they're located in Michigan. So all you Michigan stitchers, if you may or may not know about them. And I was searching for chamomile tea by R&R. R&R is one of those companies, and you probably know if you like over-dyed fabrics like I do, the hand-dyed fabrics, that R&R does not sell directly to consumers. So they wholesale their product to shops, and so it's, if you're looking for a specific color, it's like trying to find a needle in a haystack, and because for me, it's all about not just the color, but the count. So I was finding stuff that I liked, but it was 28 count fabric, and I really prefer to stitch on the higher count fabrics. So I was looking for 32 and above. So this chamomile tea was what I was looking for, and it's for a specific pattern, which I don't even have the pattern yet, but I wanted to buy the fabric, so I now have the fabric. And it's this beautiful, R&R, it doesn't have a lot of, it has a rich color, but there's not a lot of texture. It's more about the color. And it's this beautiful, it's chamomile tea, so the name of the color is perfect. So I was really excited, I was thrilled and excited to get this. And I ended up getting a piece that was a fat 1/8. Got that from her. Count was 35 count. So I was really excited to get that. And then next from a shop, you guys know it, Stitch and Frog online. I got 2 different fabrics. One, I got the called for, and I just unwrapped this, so I can't even take it because it's all in the plastic bag still. Por favor, un momento. Okay, so this is milk chocolate, and it is 32 count, and this is by Fabrics by Stephanie. One of the things I like about Stitch and Frog and also 1-2-3 Stitch is that they send their fabrics serged. I don't have a sewing machine yet, or I lost my sewing machine and I haven't replaced it, so I can't serge my own fabric, and so Stitch and Frog does the serging for you. So this is, again, for a specific project. This is to do the knee high by the 4th of July by Hands On Design. So I specifically wanted that. That was the fabric that was called for, and I really liked the texture and the modeling on it. So I hunted it down and found it. And then Later on, I went back because I was looking for fabrics for other projects, and I found another R&R fabric that I really, really liked at Stitch and Frog, and this is Liberty Gathering Gray. And it's just a really pretty gray color. Again, not a lot of modeling in R&R, but it has the the serging. It has that. You know what I'm talking about. It has that on it. I'm just a hot mess. You guys should know that by now. I hope I make you laugh, because I make myself laugh. What a hot mess I am. So that was Liberty Gathering Gray. And then, I'm so excited about this. There's a shop that it was new to me, because in preparation for the 'Tis the Season Stitch Along, it's all about having the right piece of fabric. And so it calls for Vintage Pear by Lakeside. And I didn't want to do it on that. So I have been exploring different options. I was looking all over the place. I had a lot of stuff in my cart at 123 Stitch, and I just couldn't figure out what I wanted to do. For those of you who don't have local needle workshops available, you can probably understand what I'm talking about, and hopefully you feel my pain. It's very difficult to find. You know what you want in your head, but it's very difficult to look at something online and say, yes, that's it. And when you can't see it in person, and you can't touch it, and you can't see the nuances of it, it makes for a difficulty that I don't wish on anyone, because I constantly second guess myself on that stuff. So I went round and round, and I found the shop, and so I called them. I was like, okay, worst case scenario, I'll just call them. And so the phone rang, and I was greeted by the lovely Abby on the phone. Hi, Abby. And if I haven't said, this shop is the Stitcher's Garden in Arkansas. And so Abby was the sweetest thing possible. We talked and chit-chatted, and I explained what I was doing, and she knew the pattern. She had stitched it on the pear, and she's like, what kind of account are you looking for? So I told her what I was interested in, and she made several suggestions, and I was just like, I'm not really sure what to do. And she's like, what's your phone number? She's like, let me take a picture of them and I'll text it to you. What? So, beyond expectation. So she sent me a couple pictures, and I was like, oh, I love, I had favorites amongst them, and I'm like, I'm not sure. And I said, let me think about it and I'll call you back. So I waited a day, and then I called her back, and in the meantime, I had looked at a couple of other colors that I really was leaning towards as well. And so I called her and I said, okay, from the first picture, I'm really leaning towards this one color. I said, but in my mind, I have this other fabric. And she's like, we have that. She's like, would you like me to take a picture? And so she took a picture and sent it to me. And while I was on the phone, I about died. So I was just like, that's it, that's what I need. So based on their service, I not only bought the fabric for my 'Tis the Season piece, but I also bought fabric for another project that I'm hoping to kit up. And so the project, the piece that the color that I picked for my project, I'll do the reveal now. I talked about it on Facebook and kind of said, one of these is my fabric. And so I decided to do the Picture This Plus, and the color that I went with is the Heritage. I'm looking at my notes going, where's the color? So I went with Heritage. And I loved it because it had this kind of antique green shade to it, and I loved the modeling. The modeling is really what makes it for me. So that is what I'm stitching "'Tis the Season" on. And what was nice is that they do their fabric by the square inch. So I had to figure out square inches, and then I messaged her with the dimensions that I needed it cut in, and they were able to do that. And then the other piece that I got from Stitcher's Garden, my eyes are so bad I have to pick this up to look at it. Either that or I write too small. This is Dames of the Needle, Peeps Lost Sheep. And there is another project that I have here to show you that this fabric will be used on. It's just the prettiest shade of, it's kind of a brown and a gray. It's like grayish. It's beige and gray. So it's like a darker grayish color. And I think it's really going to work well for these two designs. I may have to buy another piece of it because I now have two different charts that kind of coordinate with one another, and I'd want to stitch them on the same fabric. So I may just call them and ask them if they can send me some more. And then, I don't know about you, but I don't have a lot of needle minders yet. The word there is yet. And I found this shop on Etsy, Kim's Creative Needle Minders, and I'll link her below. And she's also on Facebook. And so, you know, we have Poppy. And so I found this, and she sent it to me. It's my Poppy dog. Is that not adorable? I about died. My husband thinks it's adorable. My daughter thought it was for her. She tried to take this and was like, no, it's Mommy's. Do not touch. So I'm like so thrilled to use it. I had to put it back on the card until I can get it on my stitching. So Kim, awesome. Thank you so much. This is our dog in needle minder form. Exact coloring, the ears, everything. This and the red collar. That's what my daughter picked up on. She's like, Mommy, it has Poppy's collar on it. And our dog does have a red collar, so I just think it's adorable. So thank you so much for that. And then when I ordered the fabric from Stitch and Frog, I also picked up two charts, one of which was featured by Pam from Pam and Steph, Just Keep Stitching. Pam had shown this pattern that she had gotten, and I absolutely love it. This is Penny Pumpkin by the Scarlet House. And like Pam, I'm obsessed with white pumpkins. I like pumpkins in general, but white pumpkins or even green pumpkins die. So I got that, and then I had forgotten I had ordered this, and then when my package came, I was like, did they throw this in? And then I went back and looked at my invoice, and I'm like, oh no, I bought this. So this is Plum Street Samplers Henpecked. And this is one of their new releases. I believe it was the beginning of July. And I love it because it has the little patriotic flags. So if I had a farmette, I would want to have some chickens. Some chickens, some bees, maybe a goat or a lamb or a sheep, a horse. Just give me a little farm and I'll be happy. And then Crafting Between Stitches had talked about in one of her previous videos that she was doing Jeanette Douglas, and she wanted to do a stitch along. And I thought, well, that's a designer that I have never stitched before. So I went and looked, and of course the chart that I wanted to do was an older chart, and I thought I'm never going to be able to find it. So I did some searching around, and I actually found it in print form at Shepherd's Bush in Utah. And I called there, and the ladies were like, hold on for a second. And they went, and they said, yes, I have it. I was like, you have it? Can I get it, please? So this is Vintage Stars. So I like it because I just like it. I like the quilt aspect of it, but I'm thinking about changing and doing it just in shades of teal. My living room accent pillows are teal and brown because I have a brown couch. So I'm thinking of doing that, or maybe just changing, maybe doing more than just teal, but that's really pretty. So I'm waiting to hear back from her about whether or not this is going to be a stitch along. And then the fabric that I got to do this on is that Liberty Gathering Gray. So that was why I had purchased that, is to do it on this. Or I might change the fabric, I don't know. I have to decide. And then also from Shepherd's Bush, I had the fabric for this kitted up, and then I realized in going through all my Shepherd's Bush charts, I didn't have the chart. So when I called looking for that, I was like, oh, before I let you go, by the way, do you have this chart? And she's like, yes. I said, can you just add that in? And so she did. And this is Shepherd's Bush Spring. So I have all the seasons now. So I have spring, summer, autumn, and winter. Winter, I'm trying to think if I've already stitched winter. I think I've stitched one of them and I just need to add the buttons, and then the rest I need to stitch. I like this because this is stitched with Pearl Cotton number 5. So you could do either the DMC or you can use the Kirn Impressions thread. The model is stitched in the Kirn Impressions, but they give a conversion for the DMC Pearl number 5. So I haven't decided which. I'll probably do the DMC because it's cheaper and it's easier for me to find. And then I got some project bags. So I had MamaJoan on Etsy. It's made by MamaJoan on Etsy. She had posted this fabric pre-sewing, and I about died because it's sunflowers and bees, and it's black and white and yellow, which it's just sunflower in a cup right there. And so I had been waiting to get this, and then I finally got it. So I'm really excited to use it. Project bag, really well made. And I love the clear vinyl. I know some people don't like plastic against their projects, but I don't mind it because typically my chart is the first thing in here and then the stitching is behind it. So I got that. And then I found another project bag maker on Facebook, Kirn. I don't know if she has a separate page or not, but I'll find out from her and I'll link it below. And she had some different fabrics available, and so I picked this one, and I'll turn it around so you can see cherries and the black and white gingham. One of the other things that I'm kind of obsessed with, and I was obsessed with it like when I was like in my early and mid 20s. And so anytime I find something, I found a cross stitch book by Mary Engelbright. And so a lot of her stuff is cherry, this kind of cherry print. And it's like note cards and calendars and things like that. And I found a cross stitch book of cross stitch patterns, and I got that from, I think I got that at Christmas time on Amazon. Anyway, so I saw the cherries and I was like, yes, I'd like that. And then she also had a bee and sunflower pattern that was different than MamaJoan's, and I about died. So I got that one as well. So now I'm into the fabric bag, or the fabric project bags. I'll probably be getting more. Oh, hold on. Whoop. Let's see. Ooh, I'm going to be getting a package by Royal Mail. So that'll be coming up in an upcoming Flosstube. And then I blame the following on Stephanie and Pam from Just Keep Stitching, because until I started watching their channel, I had no idea that destashing existed on Facebook. And that is going to be a budget buster for me because I can't stay off of it. It's like addictive. I don't know why. So I'm going to show you now all the stuff that I've received so far. This isn't just what I've gotten. This is just what I've received. Various people. So, and there's too many to name because it's like, you know, and if you're not familiar with DESTASH, why aren't you? Although I shouldn't encourage you to go because then you're going to be competing with me. So stay off of DESTASH. Just saying. So far I've gotten some fabrics and a lot of charts. So this fabric, it's hard to see because it's in plastic. This is Crystal Phoenix Lugana, which is an even weave, and it's 32 count. So I figured, okay, well, it's 32 count. I can, you know, work on that. And then I got this piece of 32 count, and the color, it's a color that's not available. It's a really pretty kind of pale, it's called St. Valentine's blend, and I kind of think of it like a strawberry blend. So I'm gonna try and find something that is kind of Valentine-y or love themed or berries of some sort to stitch on it. And then I got this, oh, I love this post-it note. Looks like a little, look at this post-it note. How cute is that? That's like actual note. See, look. I was like, how cute is that? Amanda, I'm gonna have to contact you and find out where you got your post-its. That's adorable. So this is a design, and I probably overlooked it at the time, but it's a shepherd's bush design called Sail. And so she destashed it with the Heatherfield Stardust. And if you're not familiar with Heatherfield, it's a really soft, even weave that has flex in it. And I don't know if you can see the flex there. It's got flecks of all different colors. Now, they don't make Heatherfield anymore, so it's really hard to find. So I was just super excited that this was included with it. There's various colors, various counts. I have a lot in my stash that's either 16 or 20. I have a couple pieces that are 26 count. I have a couple pieces that are 16 count. And then I have a piece, a dark green, it's called Woodland, and it's 10 count Tula. This is 10 count Stardust. And I've stitched other projects on this, and so I was really excited not just to get the chart, but to get the fabric as well as part of like a bulk price. And so I also got from Plum Street, Hello Winter. Super excited to get that. I got Chessie and Me, House on Pumpkin Hill. Let me turn it so you can see it. There. And then I also got by Little House Needleworks, The Old Red Barn. And then that that fabric, the from Dames of the Needle, the Peeps Lost Sheep. I had gotten this chart from Halloween Eve by Blackbird Designs. And so I thought, well, I'm going to stitch that on that fabric. And the thing that I liked about it is they have a companion, I guess it's a companion piece, but it's Midnight Watch. And so I happened to find that one as well on the DESTASH. So I thought it would be kind of cool to stitch them together. While we do celebrate Halloween, we don't do anything that is like demonic, so no witches. This is just personal preference. Please don't judge, no comments. No, I'm sure I'm gonna get backlash on this, but no witches, no vampires, no no mummies, no spiders, nothing like that. We do black cats, we do pumpkins, we do like houses. My daughter's shaking her head no. What are you shaking your head no about?
We do vampires like that.
but Daddy doesn't like me to hang those up. I don't know. Ask your father. It's always my excuse. Just ask your father. This is something that he prefers, and I have decided as a spouse to go along with it. So then I got this chart from Cricut collection called Seeds, and I mainly got it for this design here because I thought it would be a cute teacher gift because it's an apple and a tree. I don't know, I thought it was, and it says, from seeds of encouragement grow the heroes of tomorrow. So I thought that that was a cute sentiment, but I really wanted, I really wanted to do this one here as I turn it around and show you the chart. Oh, Donna. Okay. And then I got Sunflower House by Plum Street. And then lastly, I got from Cricut Sunflower Power. So that is, oh, and I got some haul today, but I haven't, my mail just came before I started filming, and so I haven't opened it yet. So that'll be in next week's video. So as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll link below some of the places that I talked about in this video. Definitely check out ThatsSoKellyCo on Etsy, and check out to see what she's going to be having coming up. And then in the meantime, I will see you early next week post-surgery. I'll have some more to show you, hopefully some more stitching done. And until then, just have a wonderful time stitching, and we'll see you soon. Take care. Bye.